Welcome to the Rockhound Podcast. Where is everybody? It's just me and Theo because, Theo started something last week. We just had a dialogue between him and Rookie. Go check that out if you haven't seen it yet. And it's
so what my secret plan is to just do one-on-one dialogues with everyone from now on. It's just this is now the Theo
just the
show.
Two of you, right?
Yeah, exactly. Until it's just me interviewing myself.
Stay tuned next week for Theo and Theo.
Where Theo Kellison interviews Sticks and Stones.
I can't wait. And by the way, who are you?
I am Ed, and I strongly dislike wind.
Why do you strongly dislike wind, Ed?
I don't know, but it's a thing. Derek was laughing really hard at me because it was really, really windy one of the days. And I a little known fact about Theo Kellison. I hate wind with a burning passion. Probably, honestly, just because from a filming standpoint, because it makes recording such a nightmare. But yeah, I was getting like exploding levels of angry, and Derek was just sitting there laughing so hard, and he's like, man, I found the one thing that can get a rise out of Theo. It's like, oh, I hate wind, man.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
it's like, I can't even wrap my head around imagining you being angry about anything.
It's wind. You put me in 30-mile-an-hour winds and you'll see angry Theo real quick.
Next week, Theo in a wind tunnel.
Yes.
Let's see how high we can turn this puppy up.
Any average day in Livingston, Montana.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the report. So you landed yourself in the right place for having that aversion.
Exactly.
All right. Well, welcome, Ed.
Glad to be here.
Yeah. It's not windy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And of course, I'm Karen from Ozone Fine Art Ventures out here on the totally foggy and cloudy Oregon coast, which is such a drag.
Not windy.
It's not windy. That's right. Like we're taking a little break from the wind just so that the fog can roll in slowly. And so anyways, I miss the sun, and that's who we are. So how was your week, Ed?
My week was filled with lazy recovering and also not so lazy editing. I feel like I mentioned it on a podcast like 2 weeks ago, but I hit 25,000 subscribers on the channel, which is awesome.
Congratulations. Yeah.
So I'm doing a gigantic giveaway, like huge giveaway, way bigger than any of my other giveaways. It's super exciting. But the other thing I'm doing is I wanted to make the giveaway video. I didn't want to just post like a 2-minute video of like, here's the winner. So I asked people to give me questions. So I'm doing an AMA, and then at the end of the AMA, we're doing the giveaway winner. And oh my gosh, that took so long. I was not prepared for how many questions I got. It's like a 30-minute video. Wow,
that sounds so interesting, though.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. I had enjoyed deep diving into some of those questions, so that was a lot of fun.
That's probably what took some of the time, eh?
Absolutely, yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, because there were so many. There was like, I think like 300 or 400 comments on that video, so I had to go through and individually like scroll through every comment. Most of them were just like, congrats, or like, oh, those rocks are pretty, because I posted that was like at the end of a rock hunt video. So, but every now and then there were questions in there. I think there was a total of like 50 something questions. Wow. So I had to scroll through everyone and then write it down on a piece of paper. So I had to write out every question and the username so that I didn't have to like just be scrolling through YouTube comments. So I just had the questions in front of me. That took like seriously like 3 hours.
Whoa.
It took so long. Oh my gosh.
That's a lot of prep time that isn't being used like directly on rocks, like I understand
it
3 hours on like prepping a shell or something, but notes.
I was not prepared for just how many questions there were, but it was a lot of fun. I'm excited. That one comes out Saturday, and massive congrats to the giveaway winner, who I know at this point, but has not been announced at this point.
That's so exciting. Maybe it's you.
Maybe it's any one of you watching right now.
Right. Cool. All right. Well, that sounds like.
Other than that, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Nope. Other than that,
last week I posted a new video on my second channel, of creating the Demogorgon from Stranger Things. That was a fun video, and I am really happy with how it came out because that was my first time sculpting.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Seriously? No, you're like, wow.
I've done a lot of carving, but with multiple mediums, but I've never, that was literally the first time I had ever even touched polymer clay before. So
hand building, like sculpting that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's the negative. It's the complete polar opposite of carving because you are building up instead of taking away. So luckily my brain is kind of already wired in a way that I can, from all the carving I've done, that it's like, all right, I can actually figure out how to do this pretty easily because it's just the opposite of carving, which is easier, honestly. It's like carving, but easier. So we're definitely doing more polymer clay stuff very soon.
Yeah, that stuff is a real blast.
I
haven't worked with it for quite some time, but like I recall when it like hit the scene and I went crazy all over that stuff. And so
it's awesome. It's so much
really
fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Go get yourself some polymer clay, everyone.
Do it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, Play-Doh for adults. Who doesn't love that?
Exactly.
So many colors and I hadn't thought to actually sculpt it, so that is, rather carve it. And so you did an amalgam of both. Yeah,
a little bit. Yeah. So mainly it was just polymer clay and foam, and most of it was sculpting, but there were actually a few spots that I didn't like how lumpy and bumpy they were, so I just took a little sanding drum and kind of like leveled it off. But I don't know if that actually made it into the video or not, but you all are hearing it that happened. That's the thing,
we get the exclusive.
Yeah, exactly. It actually carves really well, so if a person was so inclined to, you could just like make a brick of polymer clay and then just carve that. If you're not very good at sculpting but you like carving, like it's really nice to carve with.
Yeah, I was making the millefleury kind of like that bead technique where you make canes and then you create like these really intense designs out of the canes, and that would be so cool to make that and then to carve it.
Yep.
Like, oh, ruh-roh.
Yeah.
I have to add another list or thing to the list of all the stuff I already don't have time to do.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like
Cool.
the one I'm currently working on, I'm not sure I'm gonna have it done in time, so we might have to be diving into a plan B. Luckily it's Halloween, so there are plenty of options right now. Halloween month, I should say.
So much fun.
Oh yeah.
Right on. All right, so any more to your week?
That's pretty much it. I have some stuff that I have to do tomorrow, but I'll talk about that during later in the show.
All right.
Because it has to do with something else.
Cliffhanger. So stick around if you want to know what else Theo has on his mind, or Ed, as it were.
There's Ed,
the non-winded
other
one.
than the wind. Yeah.
Yes.
The ever looming threat of wind.
All right. Yeah, as far as my week, same. We got back from our journey all over the place, and there was just dust everywhere in every little nook and cranny of everything. And so, of course, laundry. We actually got a chance to do some digging and a bit of hard rock mining. And so, like,
oh, heck yeah.
There was some like really messy stuff as far
well
as
acquainted
laundry.
with that.
Oh yeah. So grime, but the best kind, semi-precious grime. So.
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't even had a chance to look through the buckets. I mean,
my gosh.
You probably commiserate as far as this is concerned, being on such a whirlwind tour that you're like, doing the thing and chucking it into a bucket, and then you don't have a time around the campfire or whatever to digest it. And ooh, this is what I just got. It just mysteriously landed in that bucket and put that in the truck or whatever and on to the next bucket. And so I have some like glorious time to go through that at some point, but it wasn't this week.
No, I know exactly what you mean.
Oh,
when Derek was in town, I mean, we were getting back to town at like 10:30, 11 every night, and then needing to get up at like 6 the next day every time. So it was like, I think the day that I mean, obviously we were being actually very choosy. We were very picky about what we brought back. Like, we may have dug a lot, but like, I'd say probably 60-70% of it didn't come with, because we were just trying to, because Derek was curating his future museum, basically. Like, he's finding specimens for his museum. So we were being very picky to collect only like what he would consider a museum quality specimen. So, and you have to just bring out a bunch of pieces to get to that kind of stuff. But as we're collecting and getting back every day, like, we had enough time to basically like empty them all in the shop, just so the trunk is empty again for the next day. So I think when we were packing the boxes the night before Derek left, that was like the first time we actually like got to like sit down and take inventory on all of the stuff that we found.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And you're going like, oh yeah, I remember this, but I didn't know it was this good. Or,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yes. And so that's and that's kind of how we were doing it too, as far as high grading. I have no museum to be putting the stuff in, but most of the places that we went, we had been to before, and I knew what I wanted. And so, it was strictly the goods.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's why I want to see it so much more, though.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a bunch of stuff to like rummage through, and
it's just the really nice stuff that you want to look really closely at.
Yeah. And I would love the sun to come out for that, because there's a huge difference between seeing stuff under this actual, the array of the spectrum of the sun, as opposed to, like a kind of crappy light with the heavy cloud cover. And
absolutely.
Oh man, how it changes the quality of the entire experience. But
no, it's so true. Like with faceted stones, especially, like I've stopped taking pictures inside. Like, I will literally wait to take pictures of faceted stones until it's sunny out, because the difference is night and day.
Yeah. Night and day.
Wow, I didn't even mean to make the pun.
We're off to a cooking start here.
Yes, guys. We are.
Yeah, so those sunstones also, which I'll be showing later for show and tell, they definitely need the sun, the schiller and all that kind of stuff. It just isn't the same under a regular light. And so, and I have some dichroic or possibly polychroic pieces, and so I also won't know until that sun comes out.
That is so exciting.
Yeah, and I'm going to show off some of that stuff, like I said, for show and tells. And I did make a little short that's out already, and so you can go watch the short after the podcast. And I'm working on the full lengther right now. It's like in another window on this computer that I'm talking to. Like right over there.
Yeah.
So it should drop hopefully sometime this weekend. And that's been my week. I mean, I sort of drooling on myself and unpacking.
Still crawling everywhere. Yeah, that's where I'm at too.
Some death hikes as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Anything for rocks.
It's worth it. It's so worth it.
It is. All right. I think that like gets us over to the shouts real quick, right?
Yes,
What we're doing? Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. We have no guidance.
The shouts. I know.
This is crazy.
Director Kyle is not here right now.
We can't be left to our own accord.
He's here in spirit, though.
Yes, he's there somewhere.
As in ghosty spirit, ghost voice spirit.
Although maybe he's playing with River right now.
Yeah, he might be.
Okay.
No,
okay. There he is. See, I told you. Ghost voice spirit.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Which is funny because I actually am wearing like all green. So
what are the chances?
I am here. I'm just I'm doing all the editing. So continue.
Thanks, Kyle.
Thank you, Kyle.
Everybody say hi to Kyle.
Hi.
Hey. Shouts going back 2 weeks. Gonna make it quick though. Gotta say thanks to Derek the Rock Master for being on the show. And he was so well loved in the comments, and we would love to have you back on for story time. So...
And with better mic situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
like a
everybody can have
non-aquatic
their own.
interview would be nice.
That was still so cool of you guys to be able to
heck
do,
yeah.
like while he was on his trip and everything. It was just so timely. Thanks for doing that. Thanks,
Of
Derek.
course, yeah.
And I hope that you're doing okay out there in the very, very windy state of Florida. Yeah. And Largent 45, Scott Lambright, Betoge Designs, and many others agreed that it was in fact a very great show. Thank you for the happy birthdays, all. Rock and Roll Rock Hounding loved hearing the Montana adventures, and Kyla Abiglen is from southwestern Montana.
Very nice.
And she actually had awesome little notes for everybody, so you got to go read yours. And,
Yes, definitely.
Yep, and Kurt and Kyle as well.
Mhm.
Thank you, Kyla. Allison Minerland, Claude from Kalgoorlie, and CCC Carrie McCarty, and y'all over there in the chat. Dug it. Thank you so much. Ken Gerard, shed and damages to his house, in addition to being one of many that doesn't have water or electricity. I think actually he said that his electricity just went back on, though.
Okay.
Congrats if that's the deal.
Yes, that's good.
Yeah, we are like Lisa, for one thing, started a GoFundMe for him. If you've got some extra, he could use it, and I'll see if I can't get a link into the description for that. The good news is that his tumblers that were in the shed that got tumbled, like destroyed, the rocks inside are okay.
Yes.
That's also, I think, something that he reported.
I was gonna say
today.
that's good though, because tumblers can be. It sucks. Don't get me wrong. Tumblers can be replaced, but the rocks cannot. Each one of those rocks in there is unique. So that's
Right.
awesome that they're good.
Yeah, but on a serious note, our hearts go out to all of you in Florida.
Yes.
I know that a lot of people lost a lot, and there's GoFundMe's for a lot of our rock community themselves and others. So that's a pledge for everybody. And we send you our very wellest wishes and speedy recoveries for everyone.
Absolutely.
And thanks for helping them out, those of you who are. And let's see, on a more glittering note, we have Dustin's mid-October extravaganza over there at Haunted Ridge for the Halloween thing. It's the 14th to the 16th, and they're going to dig out some new pits so that there's some fresh sparkles for you to go find. And so if you can make it, go check that out.
Yeah.
And then we can roll over. Yeah, I know. I want to.
Yeah, I was like, yeah. If I was not 19 hours away, I'd be there.
And I'd be right there with you. Traveling probably more like 20 something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Then we have Theo and Rookie to thank for providing the entertainment for last week. That was super cool. And that was exclusive content for you all as well. So
yeah, I was actually. I meant to post that video a long time ago, and I just never. I don't know. I felt like it didn't belong on the main channel, just because I feel like a 52-minute video wouldn't get watched on my main channel, just because usually my videos are a fraction of that. So most people be like, "Oh no, that's too long." But for the podcast, that's like perfect. I was really happy. I remembered I had that video.
And it's so cool because so many people in the comments were talking about how they missed Rookie because we haven't been able to see him for a while. And so it was super neat for everybody to like feel like we were all communing with Rookie.
Yes. Yes.
Jesse. Yeah. So that was fantastic. And you're giggling though.
Like, oh yeah, I know. We were both just
like, that was infectious.
And it's also very easy to edit too, because like there's no swear words, and like there's no weird spoilers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I know. This is probably a dream job as far as videos go for Kyle, because I was like pretty much ready to post the second I sent it over.
Oh, it was beautiful, and we actually learned that we can send over like long Zoom videos through the email. So best case or worst can't. Oh my gosh, can't talk.
Best or worst case scenario.
Yeah, because that means, if one of us want to do like a one-on-one like video with someone like on an off day, we can use that as footage for future videos and for when everyone's not able to be around. So,
yep.
Yeah. There's
yeah,
that.
absolutely.
That was such a cool thing. And everybody agreed. Lisa, Johnny Rockhounding, Claude, Oregon Rocks, Paul the Rockhound. We miss you too, man. Polly, we need to have you on.
I know.
Ivan Lopez, City Rockhounding, whom also we need to talk to you about getting on the podcast.
Yes, we do.
Yes, all of y'all in the chat, thank you for being so rad, and we love you.
Yes,
and
second.
That's it, folks. Yeah, and so we would love actually to hear a little bit more about your trip with Derek. You guys,
Derek, the Rock Master. Yes.
You did the like Speedy Gonzalez like cursory overview of the thing. And so
yeah, we really did.
And that was nice of you guys to show up for that, but without sleep and without a mic and all that kind of stuff. Now that there's no wind and you've got your own mic, we'd love to hear more about that.
Yes. So again, I'm still recovering. I was running on very little sleep every single day. But hey, it's all worth it. All worth it. So the first day, we wanted to go look for Montana diamonds, which are the little squat smoky quartz. They are a lot like Herkimers in the way that they're just like a little squat crystal. We never actually made it over to the Montana diamonds though, because we got so distracted with all the other stuff. There's this spot that I wanted to stop and take him to because I know he really likes oddball specimens that are like unique and different. So there's this hillside where you can find oysters that are coated in selenite crystals. I was like, oh, Derek would probably love those. So we stopped there and we're looking around and seeing a bunch of calcite. And I was like, yeah, there's actually a lot of septarians over here. So we decided why not split a few. We found a really big septarian and split it and found just the weirdest calcite I've ever seen. It was like perfect calcite cubes, but like, smushed sideways. Like they're all like flattened and stuff, but they're still rhombohedrals, but like super, super skinny in there. I don't know. I might have a picture on my phone. If I do, I will send it to you, Kyle. If not, I won't.
Okay.
Okay. And yeah, we like just pretty much excavated that entire vug, which the vug, speaking of, was big enough I could stick my arm in all the way up to the elbow. That's a crazy hole inside of a rock when you can, I can stick my arm that deep in one rock and like, yeah, it's just crazy. Yeah. Such nice crystals.
That is weird.
And then we went further up and actually detoured quite a bit and discovered some insane double terminated long, like normal smoky quartz crystals, but they're just formed in these crystal meshes that are just the coolest thing ever. And yeah, we were not prepared for how many and the quality of specimens we were finding, especially after getting them deep cleaned. That's actually one of the things I've been doing this week is putting all of those smoky quartz clusters through iron out. Oh my gosh, they have just transformed.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's such a treat for the eyes. Do you have some of that coming forth in video form?
That was the most recent video. That one actually came out last week. Yep.
Oh, fantastic. That's why I missed it. Was out in the desert. Gonna have to catch up on that one.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to do that as well.
Yep. That was the most, that was the first day of the trip. So that's the only one so far that's come out. Next week will be the Q&A. And then the week after that, we'll resume with the Derek trip videos. But so day 2, Bear Canyon, which, what needs to be said other than Bear Canyon?
Yeah, can't go wrong there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've been talking about Bear Canyons with Derek for a long time, and he's always like, man, I would love to find one of those. So we, had a blast going up there and getting him into my good spot. He pulled out such nice ones. Actually, he sent me pictures. His boxes arrived yesterday. So today he's been doing a bunch of cutting, and he sent me pictures of the Bear Canyons that he cut. Oh my gosh, he got such nice ones. I might have to send over a picture of one of them just so we could throw it in because he got some really, really, really good ones. But on the way there, I took him to a spot that actually, I've never heard any other Montanans talk about it, but there's something you can find there that I have not ever even heard of anywhere else, and that is red velvet calcite is the only way I can describe it. It's the weirdest stuff. So it's like, it forms on sandstone in little seams, like super, super thin seams, but it's actually fibrous calcite.
Crazy.
So it forms in fibers and makes this like little bubbly botryoidal like blanket coat. And when the light hits it, it shimmers, and it's the coolest thing ever. Like it's
it's a blanket coat. It's like Snuggie.
It is. It's a velvet blanket.
So is it iron that's making that red?
I would assume so. I honestly, I should probably try test it with some iron. That'd be a fast way to find out.
Fast and fascinating thing.
Yes, it would.
Yeah, I would love to see that experiment.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Cool. Yeah, and it's so hard to even describe. I wish I had brought a piece with me because yeah, I mean it shimmers like have you ever seen Velvet Druzy?
Yeah.
It's like that kinda, but calcite. It's the weirdest. Like I thought it was a type of gypsum or selenite the first couple times I found it until I tested it with acid, and it fizzes with muriatic, which selenite does not.
Wow.
So it's straight up calcite. I was so confused. And you can actually find nice crystals. They're all clear and yellow over in that same area. So it's not like it's a standalone thing. There's lots of calcite over there. So yeah, we got Derek a bunch of pieces of that stuff. After that, I took him to a hill near Bear Canyon where you can find mid-Jurassic coral, which is awesome.
Yes.
Yes, it's such cool stuff. I think I do actually. One sec. Yes, I do have a picture. So I will send Kyle a picture to put up here of the corals because they're super, super, super cool. But yeah, mid-Jurassic. So they're like crazy old. Then obviously went over to Bear Canyon after that. But after that, so Derek is an astronomer. Like he runs a planetarium and does astrophotography and gets just insane, amazing pictures. So one of the main reasons he came out was to get pictures for the planetarium. And we were digging so late at Bear Canyon that we just got back to the car and we're like, okay, the sun's already almost down the rest of the way. Why don't we just hang out a little longer? And yeah, then we went deeper into the Pryor Mountains. Like it's like 10:30, pitch black at this point, going deeper into the mountains. And yeah, got out of the car and set up his crazy, insane nighttime photography setup. And yeah, just got absolutely insane, amazing pictures. I actually included some in that video, which will be coming out not tomorrow, but next Saturday. So
I can't wait that long.
I know. I would send them over, but they're on the computer. Wait, is there a way you could do the screen share, or can only the host do that?
Huh. I don't know. Host?
Kyle,
you should be able to screen share.
How do I do that? Share screen. I found it. All right, one second. Let me. Sorry, guys.
Oh, this is great.
Yeah.
I love instant gratification.
Right, yeah. I don't even need to send it to Kyle.
Until I get that.
Yeah. Okay, how's this working? Host disabled, participant screen sharing.
Oh, nonsense. Hold on.
Nonsense, says the host.
He's behind the scenes going, I'm going to foil this plan.
I know Kyle's like, try
it. Or maybe it's River, Yeah.
I mean, she was pressing on the button, so she might have just...
It's possible. She's smarter than we thought.
I'm just going to keep clicking the button until...
We'll keep chatting until I can figure out how to undo it on my end.
Okay. Yeah, you just let me know when you get it up, and I'll throw the pictures up. So yeah, we got insane, amazing pictures, and my camera is the Canon M50. It is not designed for photography in any way. The reason I got it is because it's one of the best vlogging cameras on the market.
Oh, but video. It's a camera, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's a fantastic camera, but it's made specifically for video, and it can take pictures. These pictures that I'm going to show you guys, I got them on this camera with Derek's setup. Oh, okay. Share, one sec. Share screen. Where is it? There it is. Share.
Look it's there. Wow. Oh, that's great. And this is the camera that doesn't take pictures?
Yes.
Bravo, camera.
Yeah. No, bravo, Derek's very expensive specialized setup is really what I should say.
Okay. Got it.
Here, I think there's more.
That's gorgeous. That's the Milky Way, no?
Yes. Which you can see. Is it sharing the other one? I don't know what I'm sharing right now.
Same picture, I think.
Okay, well, let's stop share. Share screen. Man, Kyle, I'm impressed. This is challenging. You balance all this so easily.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And these pictures ain't nothing compared to Derek's. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
It's just crazy. Yeah, so I'm glad I figured out how to share this right now. It was so funny too, because we do a lot of nighttime watching anyway, but it's a treat to do some staring at the night sky when you have a literal astronomer with you who's like actually pointing stuff out and is like, totally nerding out over how bright the sky is. And it's like he's naming off all these constellations that like I've never even heard of. It's like that's almost just as exciting as seeing it personally, is watching the astronomer go, oh my gosh, you can see the Giggenbeam. And I was like, what the heck is the Giggenbeam?
Are we supposed to be able to?
Yeah. I hope I said that right. It's the Giggen something.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the ultimate planetarium show with like the best host ever.
Yeah, exactly. So except he's not like demonstrating. He's sitting there going, "Oh my gosh, this is so cool!"
Like super nerding. Yeah, Steve and I were doing that. Like Starlink went over while we were camping, and and then we were just like, "What's that? What's that? I don't know. I don't know." Yeah. Yeah, it would have been better to be on your trip.
Yeah. It was really cool, honestly, because we do a lot of night sky watching anyway, but having Derek there to actually like point stuff out was really, really cool. So actually, wait, did it? Oh, I just closed it. Never mind. So moving on. I closed it apparently. So okay, then the next day we did not do any rock hunting, but we took him to the mountains where we through the very famous Beartooth Pass, which is one of my favorite places on earth. And Derek has, the one time he came to Montana before, went through the Beartooth Pass. So he was like, we got to go up there. I was like, I'm happy to do that, because that's like, that's my old stomping ground. Like that's where I grew up going hiking and fishing and stuff. So like I'll jump on any opportunity to go to the Beartooth Pass. It's about, I think, 12,000 feet.
Oh,
13.
Wow. My nose is bleeding.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm at sea level.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, the Beartooths are one of the higher ranges in Montana. But the cool thing about the Beartooths is they're some of the oldest rock on Earth. The rocks in the Beartooths are Hadean.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, so just like lay your hands on that. Oh,
some of the oldest rock on Earth. Literally, like I think it's like 4.6 billion years old. Yeah, it's crazy. So we hung out in the mountains long enough for the sun to go down, and we're up on top of the mountain, on top of the pass, just absolutely 100% alone. It's like 11:30 at night. Well, I guess I should explain how we got there first. So the plan was to go through the Beartooth Pass, just kind of explore our way over to Cook City, which is where the northeast entrance of Yellowstone Park is. So our plan was, we timed it perfectly. So like, we'll go through. Sorry, the dog just broke 3. 1 sec. Okay, sorry, Alexis was letting the dogs out. Anyway, though, we timed it perfectly because Lamar Valley is the one that runs through that area of Yellowstone and meets back up over at Gardner. When you are there at dusk, like right before sunset, that's the best time to see bears, wolves, like all the animals come out into the Lamar Valley. Yeah. So we were like really hoping to get some cool animal pictures. And then as we were coming through Paradise Valley on our way to Livingston, the sun would be going down and like set, so we could pull over somewhere and get more night sky photos. get over to Cook City and the north entrance is closed.
Yeah. Oh,
Which
gosh.
means to get back to Livingston, we had to go all the way. Like it literally added like another 3 hours onto our drive.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Gates are a thing.
Yeah. I think it was like 1:30-ish by the time we finally made it to our hotel in Livingston. Yeah, that was quite the detour.
Oh gosh.
Anyway, though,
yeah.
so we knew we were going to be up there when the sun went down anyway. So we're like, well, let's do some night sky watching and stuff. So the Beartooth Range is actually named after one specific peak that's called the Bear's Tooth. And Derek got a freaking picture, like insane, amazing picture of Ursa Major sitting over the Bear's Tooth, and it's so cool. So yeah, I mean, like that's amazing.
That's an incredible flex right there.
Yes, it is, absolutely. So he's gonna blow up a print of it to go into the planetarium. So I collected a nice sample of Haitian rock to sit underneath the picture from the Beartooth Range. So
nice.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's funny because I was doing all of this looking via flashlight in the middle of the night. But I managed to find a really cool pegmatite with nice feldspar and like tourmaline and stuff. It's like a cool little rock. I was like, oh, heck yeah. So that's an awesome little display specimen, especially like to represent the Beartooth. So yeah, I was happy to find that one.
I'm just imagining all the wild animals that you just spoke of a few sentences back following you.
Like, oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Just out of the light. Like
yes. We were definitely
a
little
people watching.
Yeah, exactly. We were a little on edge the whole time. Because yeah, there's lots of bears in the Beartooth. I think I sent a picture to you guys last time we went up there. We saw a grizzly bear crossing the road, and that wasn't that far from where we were now doing night sky photography.
Yeah.
So
they're just riddled. You know, it's sort of infested over there.
Yeah, there's lots of bears in that whole the Absaroka Range. There's a lot of bears. Like it's it's a little intense, which actually brings me to the next day, which was Highlight Canyon, which we didn't know this until the next, I think it was like 2 or 3 days later. I got a little news bulletin on my phone. So Highlight Canyon is like 30 minutes away from Bozeman. I got a little news thing on my phone that over a 32-hour period which overlapped with when we were in Highlight Canyon, there had been over like I think it was like 11 or 12 bear sightings in the Bozeman area.
Ugh.
Highlight Canyon being one of those lists, and we're not talking black bears, we're talking like big grizzlies. So I was like, wow, I'm glad we didn't run into anything.
Yeah, you know, it's this time of year that they're running around trying to like pad their fat so that they can, you know, bed down for the winter.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, because normally you don't have to worry about them too much, but this right now is when they're eating meat, so they're extra scary right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was happy to get that news after and not before we went to Highlight Canyon. But
true story.
That was what's up, Alexis. She just walked up and went like okay, anyway, sorry. So Highlight Canyon was intense. And we didn't have very much time. Like we got a later start than we wanted. It's 7 miles to the peak one way. So we didn't make it all the way to the peak, which hurt so bad because we were seriously probably like a half mile away from it when we needed to turn around. But we knew, like, we both made like the responsible call of, okay, we could probably force the hike up and make it to the peak, but that's where the majority of the highlight opal is. So obviously the two of us, once we get up there, are not going to be responsible and leave immediately when there's opals at our feet. We're going to be hunting. So we should probably turn around now before that temptation presents itself.
Yeah.
So we ended up hiking, I think, if you add all of the little offshoots that we walked down, I think we walked 11 miles in like, I'm trying to think. We got there at like noon. We made it back to the car as the sun had just completely gone away. So it was like 7:30 because it gets darker earlier in the mountains. So yeah.
Wow.
It was quite the hike.
Monster.
Yeah. And I do have a video, of one of those opals that I will show during show and tell, because oh my gosh, they're so nice. They're so nice. Definitely worth
Isn't this
the.
show and tell? Is this
Oh
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Kyle, I need you to pop up one of the Smoky Quartz video during that time. I forgot to do that. My bad. There's before and after. We'll just do it right now. Let's streamline the process. So here is the before of that Smoky Quartz cluster before iron out, and here's a video of it after iron out. And yeah, wow, look at that. Wow.
Yeah. It's an amazing thing.
Okay, well, now that's done. Here's a picture of the view from the top of Highlight Peak.
Wow.
Well, of the hike before you go up to Highlight Peak. You can't even, so the trail starts right next to a lake, and you can't even see the lake. You've walked that far. It's crazy. Definitely going back next year. Because and there's a campground right at the bottom. So instead of staying in Livingston, driving to Bozeman, and then driving to Highlight, like, just get up and go. Do as much hiking and opal hunting as possible.
Yeah.
And as far as I'm aware, those are the only opals in Montana that are, like, localized enough to actually go hunt for. There are reports of there's like common opal, which doesn't really count. I feel like everywhere has white opal. That's that's not too uncommon. There's reports of precious opal found insanely rarely in some of the petrified forests, but those are also places that you can't normally like hunt for that kind of stuff, and it's rare to the point where it's like looking for a diamond, basically.
Yeah.
So those highlight opals are pretty much the only opals you can actually like go hunt for in Montana. So they're like super special. And highlight opal in general is like really, really, it's a rare variety of opal in that quality. Like, it's found in several different states and countries, but there's only like 3 places in the world where it's like jammy, like super jammy. And that's actually Montana. I want to say Hungary, something like that, somewhere over in there, and then Mexico.
Right on. Yeah, I mean, I like that you have to work for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of one of the things that will probably keep it as one of the rarities, because you gotta haul you and your bag up and then haul it all back.
Yep, exactly.
That's a good thing. You earn it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we didn't even keep very much. I'm excited to show that video later at a later date, some Saturday in the future. I don't know how far out it is, but we really didn't keep very many. I mean, we kept like a literal handful of loose specimens. Derek found one like this, which I think we brought for show and tell last week.
Yeah.
Derek found a piece like this, which had a pocket like that of opal in it, and then I found a big piece where the whole top of it was opal.
Oh,
so I mean,
gosh.
Based on weight, that's like not really that many rocks, but oh my gosh, you hike 11 miles with that little bit of weight, and it adds up real quick.
Oh man, I'm feeling that. Yeah.
Yeah. And Derek was laughing at me the whole time because my feet were screaming by the end of it because I was wearing Skechers on an 11-mile hike.
He needs a sponsorship, people, because that's something.
Yeah, exactly. Can I get a Sportsman's Warehouse sponsorship? That'd be awesome.
Right. That's cool.
And then day 4, I was not with Derek. Derek went to the medicine wheel by himself because I needed a day to like become human again. Because we were running pretty nonstop. But yeah, he went to the medicine wheel in Wyoming and did some hunting along the way, got some really nice fossils. And then the next day, a no rock hounding trip to Montana is complete without a trip to the Yellowstone. So I had to take him to the Yellowstone, and we both got really, really nice big agates. But I think the thing that excited us even more was we kept finding so many baculites and ammonites, and we found a big just wedge of ammonite that I'm currently prepping. So I'm going to have like a specimen of ammonite, like just this big. It's so cool.
That is crazy.
Yeah. So many, like,
oh my God.
Like we went there and I think it was funny too. Cause I could tell Derek doesn't really like didn't like the river hunting as much. Cause whenever like I was planning the trip with him, I was like, yeah, we could do the Yellowstone. He's like, honestly, we could plan other stuff. Like, if we have time, we'll do the Yellowstone. But like by the end of the day, he was like, "Man, this is awesome."
Oh,
yeah,
good.
man. That's the fun of the Yellowstone. You never know what the heck you're gonna find, and that's kind of what makes it so much fun.
You've influenced him to the dark side.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, yeah, because I think he, it's like, okay, Jasper, petrified wood, or agate. It's like, okay, but also Treasure State agate and banded shirt and aventurine and all this other stuff like baculites and ammonites and corals. It's like there's a lot of stuff to find on the Yellowstone.
Massive size.
Yes.
Also
very large.
Let us recall that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've one of the concretions. I'm still prepping a lot of them, but man, we probably got like 13, 14 ammonites out of one concretion. They all require a fair deal of prepping, but yeah, I cannot wait to see those things done. One of them had an anomalous in it.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Oh
so
my goodness. I can't wait to see that.
Yep. Currently prepping and getting that one squared away. And then that brings us to the final day, which was I took Derek to my fossil beds, which is a very special place. And we found just awesome stuff. Derek found some fantastic ammonites, found some specimens that are going to turn into just absolutely insane, amazing ammonite. I've got a few of them prepped up so far, and oh my gosh, the color is just crazy. But I think, oh yeah, and there's at that site there is a septarian that is like the size of a small car.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, and Derek is like the calcite master. With all the calcite he finds in Florida.
Lots of calcite affection there.
Yeah, exactly. So we were sitting there excavating that septarian a little bit because he was like pulling off these just amazing calcite crystal specimens. It's like gold calcite, and you've got perfect cubic crystals of calcite, and then randomly in the middle there will be like 5 dogtooth points. and then on the side there's just one random barite crystal. Like they're just so cool. So Derek, we spent probably a good like 45 minutes just like excavating a few of these specimens off.
Oh wow.
But I think the best find of that day, I'm gonna just let this video speak for itself. Kyle, you can put this up right here.
You know what to do.
This thing is crazy.
It is. It is so crazy. Yeah. It mystifies me that you found it.
Yep. Definitely excited to get this thing prepped. It's huge. It's like platter sized ammonite with perfect calcified sutures throughout the whole thing. So I'm hoping I can yeah, it's gonna be so nice. So the current plan, and it had pearl. It had really good science for good ammonite. So my current plan is to try to do a 360 prep. Like I want to extract. Usually
I thought belt buckle. No?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
And then 360.
Just put it on a chain,
Yeah.
Like geology Flavor Flav crossover that I didn't know I needed.
Give it to Derek so that he can
Exactly. But no, so my plan with that one is 360 extraction, and then I'm gonna polish the shell off of one side to polish the sutures, and I'm gonna stabilize the other side and prep it so that you've got one perfect suture calcite half, and then you flip it over and you'll have a rainbow ammonite half, and it's going to be freaking awesome, and I cannot wait to get it done.
I'm picturing this dark room with the like glass cube, and it's on a rotating stand.
Yes, exactly.
Like it's like museum piece. You're gonna have to build a house just for it.
Yeah. Pretty much. I need to make like a display box for it because it's going to be so nice. I cannot wait to start working on it. And then after that, we went to wrap the day up. We went over to a little further east, actually a lot further east. We went to one of the few places where the KPG boundary is actually visible.
Oof. Yeah.
And the iridium layer from the asteroid impacts of the Cretaceous Tertiary boundary. You can actually see it with the naked eye, and that is really, really cool. So Derek got some cool 360 pictures for the museum, and yeah, it's just awesome.
Wow.
And then we got back to the shop at like 8:30, and probably left the shop at about 1:30, because by the time we were done like packing all of the rocks, because it just so happens that all of the hunting we were doing is like all super fragile, like intricate little stuff, so everything needed to get like individually wrapped and then padded. I think he had like 6 boxes, 6 large flat rates to ship back.
Wow.
It's
So worth
much
it,
padding.
those.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, he got his money worth, I think.
Oh heck yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I can't wait to see his exhibit when the museum is ready.
Ooh, do you think that I mean, would you put that into a video, or I'm like wondering how everybody gets a chance to see that?
I actually am going to talk to him about that. He said it's going to be a while before it's ready, because they're like renovating a whole area for that to go. But I really want to talk to him and see if he'd be up for me to do like a tour of the museum, because that'd be a unique experience to actually, know the guy that curated it, so I could get like behind the scenes and like really get a good tour. Well, I think that'd be awesome.
Oh yeah.
Not everyone can go to the Lake Mary area of Florida, so it'd be awesome to share that.
Yeah, and how neat also that that your hands were part of that.
Yeah, I know, that's so weird to think about. Like, go to a museum and be like, "Hey, I remember pulling this one out."
Yeah, we found that.
Yeah,
and that.
Yep. Yeah, it's super exciting. But yeah, that pretty much brings us to the end of the whole venture. Oh my gosh, such a amazing rock-filled week, and yeah, definitely have to do it again, Derek, if you're watching.
Yes. Derek, come out and do it again, so that we can hear these stories all over again.
Well, actually, funny story, he's actually coming to Montana for something unrelated next summer. He's if it's for a planetarium thing, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, like a linked with his college. He's going to Helena, so I'm like, okay, well, let's plan some extra time and we can do Montana trip part 2 in the western half of the state, because we were in the eastern half of the state the whole time. It's more central, I guess, but yeah, I was like, let's do it again, but all over the western part of Montana.
Yeah, there's many rocks to come.
Oh yes, very very different rocks too.
Yeah, cool. All right, that'll be something to look forward to. And
yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the more fleshed out trip report, because
yes, absolutely,
it did feel so fast and
I know, we felt like
dangerous last time.
Yeah. It's like I felt like we covered a lot and also nothing at all. It's like, man, so much happened, but we got to be quick.
It just looked like a blur.
Yeah,
to our ears. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you for that.
Of course.
Yeah. And so I've got a little trip report as well, as far as the shows and tells go from this side of the this huge crowd that we have here in the Zoom room tonight.
Yeah.
We headed out, and we were just hell bent to get to the Sunstones. And when I say we, I mean me.
Yeah.
And Theo and all of you know, because I have that facet machine and it is like, burning a hole in my studio downstairs. I want to use it so bad. And so I was like, okay, through the winter, I definitely need some,
some more material to facet.
More ammunition. Yes.
Yes.
Something
absolutely.
to feed my machine. And so, and like, hopefully lots, so that like, I don't feel so bad about,
learning.
Yeah.
The steps of learning, which involve destruction in most cases.
Yeah.
If you're anything like me.
Yeah, some ugly ducklings. You're a lot of inspiration, Theo, with all the beautiful ones that you show. And I'm sure I'm going to be going like, what is this? Because it doesn't look like what Theo does.
But just know that I haven't showed any of my starter ones. And yeah, but we all
maybe
start
I'll
there.
inspire you too. Like we'll have like an ugly rock show.
Yeah, oh my gosh, I should
like
show my first cabs and my first faceted stones.
I bet you we all have some of that. We're gonna have to bounce that idea
I think that'd be
others.
hilarious, honestly.
And by the way, Kurt was zooming around on a fall hike, and I think that they took like the wrong trail back, and so he was running late, and so
Yeah.
in beautiful places is a great excuse not to be here.
No, he might be showing up, but I'm pretty sure they took a wrong turn in Albuquerque. There's one fly that keeps
I've been watching
buzzing
it this whole
around
time.
my face, and it is driving. I'm trying to like not acknowledge it, but it's driving me crazy. You know what?
I've been watching it the whole
Seriously,
podcast.
like, I'm gonna time out
There's
for
the fly
5.
again. Drink.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna time out for 5 seconds because I need to murder this thing. I'll be right back.
Yeah, we headed straight out to the Sunstone, and there is camping at the public collection, and so you can kind of go tool around and try your hand at finding what's just out there. And that's what the short is from, actually me swinging the hammer on some basalt, and you hear it crack, and then I crack it again, and you can see the little glitters inside. And let me tell you, that's infectious.
Oh yeah, it is.
You just want to do that, although the hard rock part of it isn't it's a stress to do to your body in the hot sun of the midday desert.
Yep.
Yeah. And so which the rabbit hills out there are. And so you could also like surface collect, which is really fun. You're mostly going to find the champagne. Where are they? Okay, so here's actually the basalt from the video. It was stuck together, and I cracked it open, and my light isn't doing everybody favors here. Oh, actually, you can kind of see the sparkles.
Yeah.
Those are sunstones.
That's
Isn't
so
that
cool.
amazing?
Yeah, that's
like
awesome.
they just come out of the basalt. And so if you want to excavate the sunstones, you either kind of need material or rather machines that'll like crunch them out, like that
Right.
the Mars rover that
Right, yeah.
eats the rocks. We need to borrow one.
Yeah.
Or you're picking it out with a screwdriver or something like that. And so it can be
I bet the scribe would work well.
Scribe would be phenomenal. And so, but a lot of that you'd have to do in situ, because
Right.
you don't necessarily get to take the whole rock wall with you. The next day we went out to the Spectrum mine, and I was going to show a really quick just when I say just a champagne sunstone.
Oh my gosh.
That
thing is huge.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
This is a really big one by Sunstone Standards. I can't say it.
Holy crap.
They usually break off in shards that are very thin and glassy. And so to find a big hunk like this is some serious luck.
How's the transparency, like inclusions?
What's interesting is that I have no clue, because I haven't had a chance to go through all the material yet. And in order to find out exactly what's in here, not only does it need to be a bit cleaner on the outside, but I can put it in immersion oil, which is in the case of Sunstone's wintergreen oil. And then you can see it like it's under an X-ray machine or something like that. You'll see the fractures and inclusions. So that
if that thing's flawless, I can't imagine the centerpiece that you could fasten out of that rock right there.
Ginormous.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, how many
you could make a brooch
carats,
with that thing,
right?
Oh my gosh.
And so actually I'll have to do that, is find out the rough carat weight, and we'll have to play along. And so anyways,
absolutely.
The champagne diamonds can have a lot of inclusions, including basalt, but also some some fractures, or they're totally clear, and then they're one of the names is a plush diamond. And so hopefully finding those, but you don't know until you immerse. And so found a slew of those, along with over at the Spectrum mine. We took a belt run as well as banging into the rock wall. I did have a really good time doing some hard rock mining straight into the wall and found some nice pieces of schiller and a scorpion.
Score.
Yeah. Like skeetering by
That's the best.
my finds. And so, yeah, that was actually pretty cool. I was wishing that I was videoing at that time. And then did the belt run. And when you do a run like that over at the Spectrum, the things that you are hoping to find, did I mix all of the stuff down here? I probably did. Not terribly awesome. Let's go ahead and so Kyle actually has some pictures to show too, but you're looking for color, and you can see the green one in this, although it's being backlit also by the open sign. This one's got some schiller in it, and it's in the middle. Right now it's just actually playing as like kind of an inclusion in the middle, kind of like icebreakers candies. And that's a red dot one. You can you can kind of see the red dot. It's looking like the neon sign, but actually it's not. And so that is the kind of stuff that you look for if you're a faceter like Theo. You isolate the color, and now you have a colored stone that is either green or red, or if you're really, really lucky, it turns from green to red, and some of the colors in between, like there's a teal. If you think about it, the Oregon sunstones are the only sunstones in the world actually that have the copper as the inclusion inside it, and that's where we get our schiller, which is the shiny sheen. Impossible to show even like I'm gonna try some different camera work during the filming of the end of my video that's going to come out, because getting the schiller, I don't know if you've tried to get the schiller before. Have you tried that, Theo?
Yes, it's impossible.
Yeah, it just like it flares the camera.
It does.
And
yeah,
so,
it's like the exact angle where the schiller will happen is also the exact angle where the light is just like making it a white, like, oh, it's so frustrating. Yeah, yes. I've never successfully recorded schiller.
Interesting. Now, like, yeah, the gauntlet is down, like figure this out.
You have much bigger pieces than mine though, so I think you'll have a better shot at it than I do. I was trying to show one schiller face on a faceted sunstone, so it was like really not gonna work without a macro lens. So I kind of just gave up.
Yeah. And so at any rate, those are hopefully faceting grade. Again, I have to dunk them in the wintergreen, and there's every chance in the world that there's a big huge fracture going through my nicest dichroic piece, and then it's a carver, which I'm gonna do. It's either faceting or carving.
I was gonna say one big quality rock with a fracture through the middle can still turn into two amazing settings.
This is true too,
especially with some rocks, like stuff
tears.
Like I know it hurts every time, but like I have a piece of aquamarine that I bought because it's faceting grade and it has a fissure through the middle, and so I'm sure some bastards are probably cringing when I say this story, but I put it in a clamp. I put it in a clamp, and then I grabbed my pliers, and I just popped it in half.
Yeah.
A lot right along that fracture. So now I have two very nice fracture-free faceting pieces of aquamarine instead of one fractured piece. And that's totally like, if you want to facet that piece and it's got a manageable fracture, like, just work around it.
Yeah. You totally do. Did you get that one from Pulitzer? Like I remember when he snapped the
yes,
the
and I do that with opals a lot too. It's like the most horrifying but satisfying feeling in the world, and you get such a better stone out of it anyway. So it's really fun.
Yeah.
It's the Wellows.
Fingers crossed on an earring pair.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's those Wellows, and it's weird, like opals being, because they're pretty much literally glass. Like they want to fall apart on that fracture line. Like they'll pop. It's so you can do it with your bare hands on bigger pieces, and it's like the weirdest, most satisfying and horrifying feeling in the world to just break a precious opal in half.
It feels so wrong.
Yeah, but also so right. I'm so confused.
So yeah, stay tuned about those sunstones. I don't know which way they're gonna go. Hopefully we don't have to do any snapping, but
Yeah.
could happen. And then that's actually also where I saw the how do you say it, like the
Soul Pugid.
Sulpugid.
Yep.
Thank
Sun
y'all.
spider. I
Yeah,
love
wind
them.
scorpions, camel spiders, and sun
Yep.
spiders is what they call them.
Yep.
I had to look this guy up, and I'm like a total entomology nerd, but like I hadn't ever had one be in my camp, and this one was actually on our kitchen tote in our tent. So, woo.
They're
Hello,
awesome.
little
They're
guy.
so cool.
Yeah, yeah. And
I
so
love them.
they do have the little claws, but they're considered false scorpions, and they're neither in the scorpion family nor the spider family.
Yes,
So crazy.
exactly.
Kyle, there's a picture that I sent so that everybody can see that this guy has gnashing mandibles.
They're intense. They're so cool though. I love them.
Yeah, and I guess they like gnash something like pedals on a bicycle, like they do like this this action.
Yeah, they have they actually have like 4, and they like work in tandem. It's so weird.
Yeah,
they don't have like 2 mandibles. They literally have an upper and a lower.
Yeah,
Each separated. Like, yeah, soul pugids are awesome.
Yeah, this guy, yeah, I had to look it up because I was just dorking out so hard.
Yeah.
And so they don't have any venom, they have no tail, they have no barb. But those, like, there's 2 beady eyes, and apparently they can see pretty good though.
Yeah.
Instead of having like that multiplicity that the spiders have.
Yep.
And then they can like since they don't have any venom, they're not like scorpions where you could like really get in trouble if you got stung by one, especially out in the middle of nowhere like the sunstones. But they can bite you. Apparently there's a painful bite on that guy. I mean,
I wouldn't doubt it.
He wasn't interested. Apparently he was like, they have found them, they're omnivorous, and so I guess they eat like whatever, but like they found them like chowing on like a snake and stuff like that. I mean, they're pretty, and I guess they'll go head to head with a scorpion.
Yes, and usually win. In the Sonoran Desert, they get big enough to like sit on your palm, like huge, like gigantic. Yeah, like when you see pictures of those ones and hear stories, it becomes more clear why they have the reputation they do. But they're like they're one of those bugs that has like a way worse reputation than they probably deserve.
Yeah.
But they're so cool. But yeah, I mean, yeah, and like the Sonoran Desert, like Arizona and New Mexico, they get massive. Like,
you know
gigantic.
What's weird? I never saw one in all my years in Tucson.
That's so weird.
And we used to go out to like the Desert Museum on their night viewings where they would like put up all of these lights so that all the insects would come in, you know, like right around the monsoons, and so you'd see everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is missing out of my life, and I have to come to Oregon to see it.
I know, that's like so backward to me. That's like so weird. Okay, well, you lived in Arizona, so the giant centipedes.
Oh yeah.
Soul pugids feed on those.
Get out of town.
Yeah, that's how,
because like, those guys like feed on little mice and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Super bad.
Yeah, they're intense. They're like really hyper predators, but they're actually like not that like they're not like, they can hurt you, but it's not like they can't like actually harm you.
Right.
So they get such a bad reputation, but they're cool, oh my gosh, I love those things. They're really cool. I don't know. I'm a total entomology nerd. So yeah, like I'm big on soul pugids. I love them.
Yeah, that was really, really cool. Like I stopped everything rock and like went into insect mode. So
I would have too. I would have been nerding the heck out.
Yeah, I just felt so lucky to see both a scorpion and that like on one trip. And
heck yeah.
Okay. So everybody out there is going like, these are the highlights. Where are the rocks, guys? Thank you for going on that little tangent with us. And so feeling quite satisfied after my belt run, of still going through that material. We headed down the road to the Steens and did some hot springing, and there's thunder eggs out there. And so picked up some of those. And what's inside this?
Quartz, a variety of
We'll see.
I'm guessing.
Yeah,
one of the
like...
many quartzes.
Right? Some kind of silicate.
Yeah.
And maybe a scorpion.
Just give that answer. You're never wrong.
Yeah, right? And actually, when I bid y'all a hey do from a mountainous looking place, that was the Steens, and we were getting ready to go on our little sort of hell hike. But I mean, it was the most beautiful thing, and even with the sea level lungs, and that's not really a very high elevation, but it's enough.
Oh, from sea level. Oh yeah. That's why we went to mountains. Like first day we took him to like lower mountains, and then the next day we went into the prior mountains, just so we could acclimate Derek instead of just going straight to Highlight Peak, which is like super high.
Right.
Like, we don't want to murder you day
like
one.
Pass out peak.
Yeah, exactly. So he went to 3 different mountains before we went to Highlight. So
yeah, way to break them in. Good plan.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he went to the Smokies the next week in Tennessee with his wife. So I bet those mountains were probably like a breeze to hike through after Montana.
Right? He's like, I've been training. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, and so happily the hot springs were there afterwards, and it definitely was a soothe to the muscles and the feet. Brought some kind of neat stuff from out of there. There's some very cool colors like purples and greens that we don't get out
so
of
cool.
some of the other. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of purple in Oregon. You know, you got your the holly blue, and you've got some sage agate type stuff, and then whatever you can find in a thunder egg, basically. You know, it's just not a whole lot. Everybody, like, you know, there's claims of finding amethysts here and there, but you know, they're usually like light and
yeah, like the lavenders. Yeah,
I'm not complaining. But
oh yeah, amethyst is amethyst, but no, I totally understand what you mean.
Yeah, I know how you love purple, and you know, so when you find something deep purple, you're like,
you're like, yes, like, stop the presses.
And so we pledged a little bit farther out towards the Trout Mountains, and Riley, Jasper, and Agate out there, more sun hot springs, so you can see what was high on our priority list. And turn the horse, or you know, our Tacoma as it were, back towards the barn, and hit Hampton Butte on the way back. And I dug like a crazy zombie. I found, like, this was after most of our trip had already gone by, and we should be very tired. And man, I don't know what got me. Have you done that before? You just like start.
Yes. Yeah, it's like your body is done, your mind is tapped out, but you're still just like working like it's nothing. Yeah, totally know what you mean. I think Derek and I both achieved. Yeah, exactly. I think me and Derek both achieved that.
I totally surprised myself. And Steve's got this classic video of me walking out with my bucket that I'll show in the video. But like, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's pretty scary. But it was worth it. Yeah. So this is. See how this is still dirty, guys?
Yeah.
I haven't even had a chance to wash this off, but you can see the wood grain and green.
Oh my gosh.
See?
Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna get cut, I think.
This is gonna get cut, people. and I was pretty happy. So if you've seen my first video, I was kind of disheartened by the whole locale, and you could feel it in the video. And so we took a different turn and went to a bit of a different place in the region, and every single hole was covered. Like people had been digging there, but everyone had put it back. And you know, I started feeling like, okay, maybe I like this place okay, because we were laying up on the way home, and I love there anyway because it's ancient juniper forests. Like, it's
that's
gorgeous.
awesome.
And to have it all tore up, you're just going like, oh.
Yeah.
And so we went to a different place, and like everybody was so they left it so nice. There wasn't trash anywhere. It was, all of the campsites were just beautiful. And so we stayed, and, I definitely had a new love for the place. And so I dug crazy, and I found some crazy. The rewards were there. And yes, I filled in mine as well.
Yes, I was going to say, I mentioned that in every video where we were digging also, but people, fill your hole when you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, please don't just leave big
whichever
craters.
one, a burrito in this hole.
Yeah.
And then, you're in the other hole.
Fill any hole. Just fill it.
Fill it.
It doesn't matter.
I think we might need that shirt. Oh my goodness. Okay. And so that's and actually Steve found a mystery stone, which I'm gonna need your guys' help identifying. Also still dirty, but I had to pull this out. What's interesting is you saw the wood. It looks like wood. It's so strange. But it hasn't been tumbled or anything, right?
Right. Yeah.
And
now you've got that, which is like perfectly rounded.
Yeah. So this is obviously I'm not like it's some kind of river worn or erratic, that was brought there. And it is so different from the stuff that we had been looking at. I don't know if the striations are coming out.
Yeah, I can see some of them. That's so weird.
It's so weird. It's so, what a good time.
Oh, heck yeah. That sounds like a blast.
Yeah, and the sun was out every day until you didn't want it to be because it's too hot, and like maybe some clouds come in. And I actually have, like, from my smile, I have suntan marks.
Tan lines from smiling.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Like, what's going on with that? Yeah. So you had a good trip when.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. That's a sign of a job well done.
Right. And so that's it. Although I don't think I mentioned during the what I was doing this week, today Ochiko lost 2 of his very favorite stones.
No.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And so he's recovering, and we'll have to take him hounding some more so that he can find some different ones. Yeah, poor kid.
Oh man.
Yeah, I just heard somebody crying. I think it was him.
Poor buddy.
Yeah. But that pretty much does my my shows and tells and the trip report. It was amazing, and it was really super cool hearing yours as well.
Heck yeah, that was awesome. That sounds like we both had quite the adventure.
And what's cool is that I know everybody out there is having their summer and beginning of the fall adventures. It's like in the books and from the folks that you talk to that know the good spots that, like, oh, there's a fall spot or whatever.
Yeah,
so
yeah, exactly.
I know a lot of people are hustling around getting their rocks on too. So
especially in our part of the country where that window of opportunity will close for several months.
Yeah, grabbing it while you can. It did freeze on us a couple times.
Oh man.
And so we're talking about, like 80 degrees during the day, and it's like tank top shorts and you're hot, and and then freezing.
Yep.
Frost
That's
on
how
everything
it was
in the morning.
Yeah. That's how it was for us too. There were a few nights actually when we were up top in the Beartooth, it was like t-shirts during the day, super nice, and then man, when the sun went down and it was like 40-mile-an-hour winds just howling.
Oh, no.
And yeah, it was cold. I had a t-shirt, then a long sleeve shirt with another t-shirt over that, and 2 sweatshirts, and I'm still just shivering like crazy.
Ed does not like wind.
No, Ed hates wind.
Strongly disliking his weather.
Oh gosh, like it couldn't have been that much above freezing. Like probably like 35. Oh man, it was cold. It was cold.
Yeah, when you start wearing like multiple sweatshirts or multiple jackets, you're into, like, I'm not kidding, it's cold.
Yeah, exactly. It's just how this time of year in Montana is. Like everywhere you go, you bring extra clothing and a change of clothing with you, because it could go from 40 to 70 in the blink of an eye right now.
Right?
Fall
It
in
makes
Montana is
packing
weird.
awful because
Yeah,
like I had
yes.
everything for the heat, and then I had everything for the cold, and it was like, overpack much? Like, do you really need that? And then when you're mining and you're just going to be filthy, like, and I'm not putting that back on.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
so yeah.
Yeah, you kind of have to overpack.
Kind of
Yep.
do. Yeah,
Totally,
and then
totally know what you mean.
the dirty clothes bag has to be really big.
Yeah.
Don't forget a dirty clothes bag,
It's
people.
just a tote. Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. The smelly tote over there.
Yeah, exactly. It's just bleach water.
Right. It's a bath of that.
It's a chemical bath on wheels.
That's a thought.
I might employ that next year.
Yeah. So are those our words of wisdom, or do we have some other one?
I mean, I could go with that. Like, bring a chemical bath with you at all times, forever.
Right? Is it bleach or is it iron out?
Yeah.
Or all chemical baths.
It's oxalic acid.
So random. You're stopped at the border, like.
Yeah. What is this vat of chemicals? Like, sir, it's just hydrochloric acid, okay? It's fine. I'm dissolving all biology off of my clothes. Thank you.
Yeah, and holes in your truck bed.
Yeah, exactly. Just eating through everything.
We're so wise here.
I know. Man, we kind of went off the rails again, didn't we?
A little
It's
bit.
fine. It's fine. I mean,
is everybody out there okay? You guys okay?
I was gonna say, Kyle and Kurt should have known that this was gonna happen, because we are the two tangenters, so it's letting us tangent for unending amount of time.
That's why I figured to let you guys two chat, and you guys would talk enough to pretty much making a whole episode. So
yeah, I figured we would.
There we
we're doing it.
Yeah.
We're doing it for the people in the chat, so that they have a platform so that they can chat back and forth.
Exactly.
Yeah. We did it for you guys. All right.
It was focused on altruism.
If you guys have words of wisdom to add to that, go ahead and throw that in the comments for us.
How about you guys just words of wisdom for us this week?
Yeah. we'll use those in like the anti-shouts.
Yes.
Yeah, and so thank you guys for joining us this evening on a roller coaster ride.
Pretty much.
Trip recounts, and you guys that are on your summer and fall rock hounding adventures, share your rocks with us. Send them to the email in the description for our viewer shows and tells. We would love to do a trip recap for you too.
Yes.
And join us over there on the Discord. Same email address will get you an invite, and we're chatting back and forth. It's always so much fun to see what everybody else is up to. Good stuff always coming up on that. And so do you have any parting words, Ed?
Well, for one, and stop. Y'all gotta like shells more.
Absolutely. And we'll bid you adieu, and we'll see you next week. Keep rocking, and thanks for joining us.
Bye.